Any further debate or discussion? Senator LaMalfa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise in opposition to this bill. This system may actually be more effective in putting an alarm when someone is running an alcohol transaction and getting a random member of the market to come and monitor what's going on with that particular transaction. Whereas you may have somebody maybe looking the other way that maybe knows the improper buyer of the alcohol. So this could actually be seen as a safeguard that's better and more effective than other situations. So when you go back and look statistically that there is such a tiny portion, if any, anecdotal evidence that this has worked improperly, the bill's not worth supporting. We have a good system here. Let it work. I ask your no vote.
Any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Keogh, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, members, again for the discussion. Members, this bill addresses a serious problem. That is why it's supported by California Police Chiefs Association, California Narcotics Officers Association, PORAC, Peace Officers Research Association of California, the Los Angeles County Probation Officers Union, California Association of Addiction Recovery Resources, California Council on Alcohol Problems, California Association of Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Counselors, the Riverside Sheriff's Association, California Nurses Association, on and on and on. The bill addresses a critical issue of youth access to alcohol. It is the right thing to do, and I ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist. Anderson. Berryhill. No. Anderson, no. Blakesley. No. Calderon. Canella. No. Corbett. Correa. De Leon. Aye. DeSagne. Aye. Dutton. No. Emerson. No. Evans. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. No. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. No. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. No. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Rubio. Runner. No. Samidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. No. Vargas. Aye. Walters. No. Wolk. Wright. Aye. Weiland. No. Yee.
Call the absent members.
Alquist. Calderon. No. Corbett. Correa. Aye. Evans. Carol Lieu. Price. Rubio. Wolk. Yee.
Okay, Senator Keogh moves the call. Okay, members, item 118. Senator Pavley? 118. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 322 by Assemblymember Portantino enacting to forensic evidence.
Yes, thank you very much. Assembly Bill 322 is sponsored by the California Coalition Against Sexual Assault and supported by Crime Victims United of California. It is designed to expedite the processing of rape kits here in California. Currently, thousands of rape kits in our state are not being tested within the 2-year time frame already required by law. This bill does two important things. Number one, it would require the reporting of statistics on the collection and testing of rape kits by local law enforcement agencies. I want to point out this does not count backlog rape kits. We're only talking about those counted after this law takes effect in 2012. So after January 1st, it's a going forward statistical collection. Second, this bill would establish a Department of Justice pilot project to test rape kits collected in 10 counties in California that have a arrest record of below 12%. The Department of Justice indicates that they will be able to process these kits using current resources and at no cost to the counties. This is not a mandate on the counties. DOJ will take care of the costs. These reforms are critically needed. California has an arrest rate of only 23% of reported rapes. But in contrast, listen to this statistic, New York has a remarkable arrest rate of 70% because they test every rape kit that is collected. And many of us know, unfortunately, that some of these people accused of rape that aren't arrested or convicted are repeat offenders, and that's where a lot of the tragedy lies. AB 322 will go a long way in making California a much safer place to live for men, women, as well as children. I ask for your aye vote on this measure.
Any debate or discussion, members? Any further debate or discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Blakesley. Berryhill, aye. Blakesley. Calderon. Aye. Cannella. Aye. Corbett. Correa. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Hancock. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Leno. Aye. Tedlew. Carolou. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price.
Aye.
Aye. Rubio. Runner. Aye. Samidian. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Correa. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Samidian. Aye.
Call the answer, members.
Alquist. Blakesley. Aye. LaMalfa. Tedlew. Aye. Rubio.
Ayes 35, noes 2. The measure, Senator Pavley moves the call. Okay, 119, Senator Vargas. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 509 by Assemblymember Skinner enacting to taxation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, for allowing me to present AB 509. Increasing the number of Californians who receive the federal income tax credit is a great opportunity to stimulate our economy. Californians leave over $1.2 billion in federal earned income tax credits on the table. This money helps our local businesses and those Californians get out of debt. Last year, 800,000 Californians failed to claim over $1.2 billion worth of EITC dollars. AB 509 establishes a mechanism for state departments and agencies that serve low-income Californians to notify their program recipients about the EITC. The purpose of this bill is to include the EITC notifications in already scheduled communications. For example, the Department of Education will add this notification to their sample letter to districts about the free lunch and reduced lunch programs. EDD will add a notification to an existing letter regarding tax filing and no additional postage. Each of these departments own estimates that there are zero to minimum costs. And lastly, I would note that Ronald Reagan famously said about the federal income tax credit that it was, quote, the best anti-poverty, the best pro-family, the best job-creating measure to come out of Congress, end of quote. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any debate or discussion? Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to stand in support of Ronald Reagan's comments. This truly is over $1 billion of federal money that could be brought into California's local economies. Low-income people will spend this money for subsistence needs and spend them at the corner store for all of their needs daily in our small businesses around California. This is good for jobs. We will hire more people to be able to manage this influx of $1 billion. It'll be good for taxable items as well. And when we free up money that low-income people would spend on food non-taxable. For taxable items, we increase sales tax revenues as well. This is very worthy of our support.
Any further debate or discussion? Senator Vargas, you may close.
I thank Ronald Reagan for that quote, and I ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist, Anderson, no Berryhill, no Blakesley, no Calderon, aye Canella, no Corbett, aye Correa, De Leon, aye DeSaulnier, aye Dutton, no Emerson, Evans, aye Fuller, no Gaines, no Hancock, aye Harmon, no Hernandez, aye Huff, no Kehoe, aye LaMalfa, no Leno, aye Ted Lieu, aye Carol Lieu, aye Lowenthal, aye Negrete McLeod, aye Padilla, aye Pavley, aye Price,
Aye.
Rubio, Runner, no Semidian, aye Steinberg, aye Strickland, no Vargas, aye Walters, no Wolk, aye Wright, aye Wyland, no Yee. Yee aye. Rubio aye. Correa aye. Alquist, Emerson.
Ayes 24, noes 14. Senator Vargas moves the call. Okay, members, on to 120. No manager. 121. Senator Berryhill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, this bill,
Assembly Bill 152 by Assemblymember Fuentes and Acroling to food banks.
yeah, thank you, Mr. President, members. Today, nearly 20% of Californians report that they are unable to afford the food they need. There is a particular need among seniors and working parents whose budgets for food are squeezed by the economic turndown. With so many people in need, food banks across the state are seeing an unprecedented need in requests. This bill, AB 350, would help increase access to California-grown produce by providing a modest tax credit to California farmers who donate fresh fruits and vegetables to California food banks. This bill also streamlines the administrative process to allow the public health to quickly move federal funding to local agencies in order to address obesity and hunger issues throughout the state. AB 152 is a win-win for all Californians and California growers. This bill has no opposition and has received strong bipartisan support in both houses. I urge your aye vote.
Any debate or discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist, Anderson, aye Berryhill, aye Blakesley, aye Calderon, aye Canella, aye Corbett, aye Correa, aye De Leon, aye DeSaulnier, aye Dutton, Emerson, aye Evans, aye Fuller, aye Gaines, aye Hancock, Harmon, aye Hernandez, aye Huff, aye Kehoe, aye LaMalfa, Leno, aye Ted Lieu, aye Carol Lieu, aye Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, aye Padilla, aye Pavley, aye Price, aye Rubio, aye Runner, aye Semidian, Steinberg, aye Strickland, aye Vargas, aye Walters, aye Wolk, aye Wright, aye Wyland, aye Yee. Yee aye. Hancock aye. Semidian aye. LaMalfa aye. Alquist, Dutton, aye Lowenthal.
Senator Berryhill puts that on call. Okay, moving right along.
Should we take up governor's appointments now, Senator Steinberg? Senator LaMalfa, for what purpose?
Could we do just one more bill while they're getting ready for the governor's appointments there?
Oh, all right. We are at file item 122. The secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 1211 by Assembly Member Silva, enacting to not-for-profit corporations.
Senator LaMalfa.
Thank you, Madam President and members. This bill makes just simple changes to the Corporations Code, which pertaining to nonprofits. It would reduce the miles of red tape for nonprofits so they can remain non-profitable in California. I would ask for your aye vote.
Members, is there debate or discussion? And seeing none, is there any objection to a unanimous roll call on this? Oh, we are putting bills on call. So again, is there any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing none, Senator Ahlquist is on the red carpet. We're counting her vote. That is 40-0. Thank you. Yes, Senator Simitian. For what purpose?
Under motions and resolutions, Madam President, with your consent and without objection, I would like to move AB 1313 by Assemblymember Allen to the inactive file at his request.
Thank you, Senator Simitian. The desk will note. And I think Senator Steinberg is ready now to take up the gubernatorial appointments. Senator Steinberg.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam President. Let us begin with file item 58, please. This is the nomination of David Maxwell Jolly as the Deputy Secretary for the Health and Human Services Agency. Mr. Maxwell Jolly was heard earlier this year in the Rules Committee, approved on a 5-0 vote. This is a very important agency, very important position. David has years of experience. We urge an aye vote.
Is there debate on the appointment? Any debate? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Ahlquist, Anderson, aye Berryhill, aye Blakesley, aye Calderon, aye Cannella, aye Corbett, aye Correa, aye De Leon, aye DeSaulnier, aye Dutton, aye Emerson, aye Evans, aye Fuller, aye Gaines, aye Hancock, Harmon, aye Hernandez, aye Huff, aye Kehoe, aye LaMalfa, aye Leno, aye Ted Lieu, aye Carol Lieu, aye Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, aye Padilla, Pavley, aye Price, aye Rubio, aye Runner, aye Simitian, aye Steinberg, aye Strickland, aye Vargas, aye Walters, aye Wolk, aye Wright, aye Weiland, aye Yee. Hancock, aye. Ahlquist, aye. Padilla, aye.
That is
Yee,
all
aye.
the absent members.
Lowenthal.
Ayes 39, no 0. The appointee is confirmed. Members, we're at file item 59. Senator Steinberg.
Thank you very much again, Madam President. This is the confirmation of Toby Douglas as Director of the Health Care Services Department. Mr. Douglas was approved the 24th of August on a 5-0 vote. Mr. Douglas is overseeing the adult day health care transition, and we had a lengthy discussion with him at the committee hearing about our concerns, about the policy, and about its implementation. At the same time, we all recognize we're lucky that Mr. Douglas is at the helm. He's a great public servant and is doing a fine job. We urge an aye vote.
Debate or discussion, members? Any debate? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee. Aye. Hancock. Aye.
Ayes 40, noes 0. The measure passes. We're at file item 60. Senator Steinberg, file item 60. Senator Steinberg, we're at file item 60.
File item 60. Thank you very much, Madam President. This is the confirmation of Lauren Hammond as a member of the California Gambling Control Commission. Ms. Hammond was heard and approved on August 31st by a vote of 5-0. Ms. Hammond was my colleague on the City Council for a number of years, again, as a fine public servant, and will do a good job as a member of the Gambling Control Commission. I'd urge an aye vote.
Is there debate or discussion on file item 60, members? Any debate? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley.
Yeah, that's it.
Aye. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa.
Probably.
Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe.
Aye.
Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg.
Aye.
Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee.
Call the
Yee,
absent
aye.
members. That's 40 ayes, no 0. The nominee is confirmed. We are at file item 61.
Thank you very much, Madam President. This is the nomination of Tiffany E. Conklin as a member of the Gambling Control Commission. Again, approved on August 31st by a vote of 4-0. We all supported her strongly despite her association with some former senator. He's still a member, current Senator Tom Harmon. Senator Harmon abstained from the vote just as an abundance of caution, given the fact that Ms. Conklin worked for Senator Harmon for nearly a decade. She is, again, a fine public servant working very hard on the Gambling Control Commission. We'd urge an aye vote.
Is there debate or discussion, members? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. De Leon. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Runner. I. Semidian. Steinberg. I. Strickland. I. Vargas. I. Walters. I. Wolk. I. Wright. I. Wyland. I. Yee.
Call the absent members.
Correa. I. De Leon. I. Harmon. Rubio. Semidian. Semidian, aye.
Ayes 38, no 0. The nominee is confirmed. Members, we're going to go to file item 63 and then back to file item 62. Is that correct, Senator Steinberg? File item.
Yes, let us begin with 63.
File
Correct.
item 63. The Secretary will read. You just go right ahead.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much, Madam President. The next 3 items are the 7 gubernatorial nominees for the State Board of Education.
Senator Steinberg, I misspoke then.
That's okay.
That would be file item 62, and we'll take up those nominees. And then we'll take up 63.
Want to take 60? Okay, that's fine. We'll take 6.
File item 62.
What does it matter? What does it matter? Well, why does it matter? Okay.
Senator Steinberg, which number?
Well, we'll take 63 first. How's that?
I am perfectly agreeable.
Okay.
We're at file item 63, members. File item 63. Senator Steinberg?
All right. What I was explaining, Madam President, is that the next 3 items, we're going to take up the 7 members of the Board of Education nominated by Governor Brown. We'll take them up at the request of our Republican colleagues in the following order. We'll take up Michael Kirsch separate, Patricia Rucker separate, and then we will take the remaining 5 members together. So we'll begin with item 63, which is Michael Kirsch. Dr. Kirsch serves as president of the board and was approved by a vote of 3-0. He's a professor emeritus of education at Stanford University. He previously served on the Board of Education back in the mid-1970s to the early 1980s. Dr. Kirsch certainly impressed me, and I believe impresses a lot of people with the depth of his knowledge around California's educational challenges, his commitment to the job, and his thoughtfulness as he approaches the myriad of issues facing this important board. I'd urge an aye vote. It's a 2/3 vote. Please confirm Michael Kirsch.
Is there debate or discussion, members? Senator Ahlquist. Senator Ahlquist.
Thank you, Madam President. I rarely get up as a member of Rules Committee to speak. In fact, this is the first time that I have this year. I have known Dr. Michael Kirsch since about 1980. He is so strong in the area of policy and a very objective and fine human being, and there is no one better to lead the State Board. I urge your aye vote.
Is there additional testimony, members? Any additional debate? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Ahlquist. I. Anderson. Berryhill. I. Blakesley. I. Calderon. I. Canella. I. Corbett. I. Correa. I. De Leon. I. DeSaulnier. I. Dutton. Emerson. I. Evans. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Hancock. I. Harmon. I. Hernandez. I. Huff. I. Kehoe.
Aye.
I. LaMalfa. I. Leno. I. Tedlu. I. Carol Liu. I. Lowenthal. I. Negrete McLeod. I. Padilla. I. Pavley. I. Price. I. Rubio. I. Runner. I. Semidian. I. Steinberg. I. Strickland. I. Vargas. I. Walters. I. Wolk. I. Wright. I. Wyland. I. Yee. Yee, aye. Anderson, aye.
Call the absent members.
Dutton. Dutton, aye.
All righty, that's 40 ayes, no 0. The nominee is confirmed. We're at file item 64. Senator Steinberg.
Thank you very much, Madam President. This is the confirmation of Patricia A. Rucker as a member of the State Board of Education. Ms. Rucker was approved on a 3-0 vote. Ms. Rucker was and is a teacher. She taught in the Del Paso Heights School District and was an instructor at Sacramento State University. She has worked as a legislative advocate for the California Teachers Association since 2008. We need the strong voice of a teacher on the State Board of Education. I urge an aye vote for Patricia Rucker.
Is there debate or discussion, members? Any debate? Seeing none, Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Berryhill. Blakesley. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Dutton. No. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. No. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee, aye.
Call the absent members.
Anderson. No. Berryhill. Blakesley. No. DeSaulnier. Aye. Gaines. No. Harmon. Runner. Walters.
Ayes 31, noes 5. The nominee is confirmed. Senator Steinberg, do you want to return to 62?
Yes, please, Madam President.
We'll go
File item
to
62, which will be my last item here today. These are the confirmations of Carl A. Cohn, Ada L. Molina, James C. Ramos, Eileen W. Strauss, and Trish B. Williams, all as members of the State Board of Education. All 5 of these nominees were approved on the 31st of August by the Rules Committee on a bipartisan vote of 5-0. These nominees bring a wide range of experience to the board. We have among this group people who have served as a superintendent, among the 7 a teacher, a principal, and administrators. And I think the governor has done an excellent job appointing his first State Board of Education. They're thoughtful, policy-oriented, and I expect them to make a big difference in dealing with the multitude of issues, including broadening our state accountability system to make it much more college and career-oriented. I'd urge an aye vote on all 5 nominees.
Is there debate or discussion, members? Any debate? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Kehoe, aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee,
Call
aye.
the absent members.
Negrete McLeod. Aye.
40 ayes, no 0. The nominees are confirmed. Members, we'll go to motions and resolutions quickly. Senator Wyland, you had an announcement. Senator Pavley, you had an announcement. Without objection, Senate Rule 29.3, Section B, will be suspended for SJR 14. Senator Wyland.
Thank you, Madam President. At the request of the author, I would like to remove file item 197, AB 286, from the special consent calendar and move it to the inactive file.
Thank you, Senator Wyland. The desk will note. Senator Pavley, for what purpose?
Yes, file item A14, Assembly Bill 1414.
Senator Pavley, beg your pardon. One more time?
Yes, file item number, I think it's A14. It's Assembly Bill 1414.
The desk will note. Thank you.
To remove from the inactive file at the request of the author.
Thank you, Senator Pavley. Members, two senators have requested taking up bills because of timeliness, so that's Senator Strickland and Senator Hernandez. I'm going to do that now, and then I think we're going to start concluding our business for the day. We have committee hearings and special consent still, and on-call items. In file order, though, Senator Hernandez, file item 144. We're going to go to file item 144. Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 706 by Assemblymember Torres, enacting to the Metro Gold Line Football Extension Construction Authority and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, AB 706 is a simple, straightforward measure that seeks to clarify the current membership of the Metro Gold Line Foothill Extension Construction Authority. Specifically, the bill will address ambiguities relating to the eligibility of sitting council members who are also members of the Metro Gold Line Authority. Until recently, the membership of the authority has not been called into question. However, a property owner along the right-of-way has proposed Phase 2 project called into questions the authority's memberships. If successful in his bid to have the Extension Authority members removed, all but 2 members of the authority would be affected. This disruption of the authority current members will lead to delays in the project. This bill provides the same clarification that was previously granted to the Expo Line Construction Authority by the legislature in 2006. Senator Huff and I are principal co-authors of this measure, and we respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Debate members, Senator Huff.
Thank you, Madam President. I, too, rise in support of this bill. This Gold Line runs along existing right-of-way, and part of the design in building this is to have members on the board who have skin in the game, and that's council members that are along the pathway of this so that it's fully embraced by the communities that they represent. This is an important item that helps clean up an issue that's been challenged, and respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any further debate, members? Any further debate? Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe.
Aye.
Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee. Aye.
Members, ayes 40, noes 0 on the urgency, ayes 40, noes 0 on the measure. We'll go to file item 154 now. Senator Strickland. Then we will take up our items on call and then special consent. Senator Strickland, the Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 946 by Assemblymember Bonnie Lowenthal, enacting to public contracts and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President, members. AB 946 is a bill that clarifies that Los Angeles Regional Communication System Authority may proceed with a public contract for the design and construction of a regional communication system for all its first responders in Los Angeles County. Support on both sides. Ask for your aye vote.
Is there debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. I. Blakesley. I. Calderon. I. Canella. I. Corbett. I. Correa. I. De Leon. I. DeSaulnier. I. Dutton. I. Emerson. I. Evans. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Hancock. I. Herman. I. Hernandez. I. Huff. I. Kehoe.
Aye.
I. LaMalfa. I. Leno. I. Ted Lieu. I. Carol Lieu. I. Lowenthal. I. Negrete McLeod. I. Padilla. I. Pavley. I. Price. I. Rubio. I. Runner. I. Semidian. I. Steinberg. I. Strickland. I. Vargas. I. Walters. I. Wolk. I. Wright. I. Wyland. I. Yee. Yee, aye.
That's ayes 40, noes 0 on the urgency, ayes 40, noes 0 on the measure.
Could I ask for immediate transmittal to Assembly?
Senator Corbett.
I object.
All righty. There's an objection to that, so it will stay at the desk for the time being. We will go to the items on call. Items on call, members. Members, on items on call, we'll start with file item 109. You can see it on your computers, and then we'll go down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. File item 109 by Mr. Swanson. The Secretary will call the absent members.
Negrete McLeod. Padilla. Padilla, aye.
Ayes 21, noes 18. The measure passes. Next item is file item 104 by Mr. Calderon. The Secretary will call the absent members. This is an urgency measure, members.
Berryhill. Canella. Emerson. Fuller. Padilla. I. Rubio. Wright.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill. Canella. Emerson. Fuller. Rubio. Wright.
Senator Hancock puts that back on call. File item 96 by Ms. Ma. The Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist. Aye. Corbett. Evans. Carol Lieu. Price. Rubio. Wolk. Yee.
Call the absent members.
Corbett. Evans. Carol Lieu. Price. Rubio. Wolk. Yee.
Ayes 17, noes 16. I request reconsideration. We are at, without objection. With no objection, the reconsideration is granted. Ayes 40, noes 0. We are at file item 118 by Mr. Portantino. Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist. Aye. LaMalfa. Rubio. Rubio, aye.
Ayes 37, noes 2. The measure passes. File item 119 by Ms. Skinner. File item 119. Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist. Aye. Emerson.
Call the absent members.
Emerson, no.
All righty. Ayes 25, and now that Senator Emerson's weighed in, noes 15. The measure passes. File item 122 by Mr. Fuentes. File item 122, 121. The Secretary will call the absent members.
Alquist. Aye. Lowenthal. Lowenthal, aye.
Ayes 40, noes 0. The measure passes. We'll take up 104 one last time. We'll go back to 104, members, and the Secretary will call the absent members.
Berryhill, Cannella, Emerson, Fuller, Rubio, Wright.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill, Cannella, Emerson, Fuller, Rubio, Wright.
I'll close the roll. Ayes 22, noes 12. The measure fails. Senator Hancock requests reconsideration. Is there any objection? Seeing none, reconsideration is granted. Ayes 40, noes 0. Then we'll move to the consent file, members, the special consent file. This is, starts with file item 185, members, and the Secretary will read the consent calendar.
Senate Bill 6, 306, 541, 621, 647, 944, 947, 948, 1016, 14, Assembly Bill 1016, 1429, 301, 898, 882, 1056.
We'll start with file item 185, and is there any objection to using unanimous roll call for 185? Any objection? Seeing none, it's 40 ayes, noes 0 on file item 185. And if there's no objection, we will apply it to the remaining items, file item 186 through 199. Any objection? Seeing none, each item is ayes 40, noes 0. Members, that completes the daily file. I know members have announcements on committees. I'll go to Senator Ted Lieu and then Senator Hernandez. You have one also?
The Senate.
Senator Ted Lieu.
Thank you. The Senate Labor Committee will be meeting to address one bill in room 3191 right after adjournment of session.
Thank you, Senator Lieu. Senator Hernandez.
Yes, the Senate Health Committee will meet to hear one bill after the after Ted Lieu's committee in the same room, 3191.
Alrighty. 3191, and now Senator Leno.
The Committee on Budget and Fiscal Review will meet in room 4203 following the Labor Committee hearing.
Following Labor, Budget will meet in 4203. I think that completes the work on the file for today. Senator Steinberg, the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Tomorrow, the Senate will convene at 10 o'clock, and I would expect that we would work with maybe a midday break of some kind, but we will work till 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening to try to get as much done as possible as we head into the final days of Thursday and maybe even Friday. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Senator Steinberg will begin tomorrow at 10 o'clock, a midday break, and then working possibly till 8 p.m., members. So the desk will be in recess until 7 p.m., and then we'll adjourn.